Okay, so now we're going to get into these firmware offers. So the first one we have is the Firmware Flaw Finder for $499 starter kit. Firmware is a big part of your business, so let's talk a bit about your background and the overall organization, the team's experience around firmware and what they're going to get for $499. And I remember on one of our previous recordings, you had some real firm opinions about the best way to go about doing firmware. I remember you saying, don't get cute and obscure. So I don't know if that would apply here, but let's talk about Firmware Flaw Finder and the amazing price of $499. So.
The goal of this really is, or I guess the target for this would be a company who has an existing product, even has existing firmware, but they've got some bugs or they've got some issue that they're trying to address. This happens all the time. We've encountered it with many different clients. And the idea here is to have a chunk of time. This covers about half a day, which again does not seem like a ton of time, but it's surprising what a fresh set of eyes looking at the existing firmware can uncover. And so that's really what we're trying to do here. Again, it's not enough time to rewrite anything or anything like that. But if we understand what the problem is, what the issue that the product is encountering is, and we have a good handover of the current firmware so that we can review everything, then we can take a look at it and we can try to identify what are likely culprits for where the issue might be coming from. In some cases, we may be able to specifically identify the bug. That has certainly happened in the past when we have done this type of work. And again, sometimes very quickly. We can provide feedback on the overall architecture of the firmware, the maintainability of the firmware, any potential weaknesses where there might be dependencies on things and things like that that could create issues in the future. And the idea behind this really is to allow clients to engage with us with their firmware and to try and provide some meaningful value in a short period of time so that we can help them overcome a specific challenge. The intent of this is not necessarily to do a complete rewrite of something. It's not to develop a major feature or anything like that. It's more a focused, hey, we have this issue. When we start our product up, it's supposed to go through a self-test process and blink the green LED, but it is not doing that. When it starts up, instead, it's getting locked up somewhere and we don't know where. And so something like that is the kind of direct focused issue that we would want to address with the Firmware Flaw Finder.